Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. My name is Jasleen Kaur and I'm a translator on the Guru Granth Sahib project. We're excited to announce the release of Bani Mahala Nova, so a Bani by Guru Teghbahadar Sahib in Rag Bihagra. So you might remember from other compositions, but this rag or musical mode is one that evokes a kind of like endearing tone, one of devotion, of inner peace, and some kind of internal conversation that's meant to be for both the mind and for the world. And it often has some kind of invocation of separation. So I thought I'd start with the Taha line and then kind of tell you about what I've been thinking about. So the Taha line is Harikigat nahi ko jane, jogi jati tapi pachhare, arbo log syane. And as always, please forgive my pronunciation, but the translation is no one knows the way of Hari, of the one light, of the remover of suffering, of the all-pervasive. Yogis, celibates, ascetics, and many wise people, having been consumed in trying to know, have lost. So the Guru sort of begins by telling us that no one can really understand the one, IkOankar, the one light. No one can really understand the way of the one. But because we are humans, our instinct and our nature is always to want to know how things work and to understand them. And this is something we're constantly seeking, regardless of the nature of sort of the complexity of things. Um, we have so many sort of sciences and sort of modes of study that people engage in, where a lot of that work is sort of coming up with interesting theories and explanations for things, but not always having a concrete answer of like whether or not that theory can be proven correct. And the Guru sort of emphasizes the unpredictability of the one light, of the way of the one light, by sort of talking about paradoxes, this kind of play. So the king becomes a pauper and the pauper becomes a king. The empty ones are filled and the filled ones are empty. The one light, has expanded attachment and also taken care of us. And that the one who takes care of us has also led us into illusion, right? Like these things that maybe are really hard for us to wrap our brains around, that these things kind of seem to change and contract and expand without any sort of understandable method. Um, and and so this like constant sort of implication or message is that the movement or the way of the one cannot be fully understood. But Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib does offer us an understanding of the one, by emphasizing this, that the way of the one light is beyond our limited understanding. And instead of focusing on attempting to decode the one or the ways and methods of the one, the focus is not, instead of like focusing on explaining the wonderful play of the one, we are sort of recentered. The goal changes. So what is to be done? Instead of looking for answers and understanding that we are incapable of. What is to be done instead of being so consumed with that desire to know that we think that introducing kind of extreme levels of discipline or practice or stubborn focus will sort of will those answers into us. The Guru tells us that we ought to not even look for those final answers. This is what tires us out. This is what exhausts us. And it also can cause us to have doubt and confusion sort of take root within. So we can get rid of these things when we attach our consciousness to the one, to IkOankar, to the play of the one, right? Like instead of hearing those lines about like seeming contradictions and thinking like somebody needs to explain to me how this is possible, just like being in awe at the fact that a king can become a pauper and a pauper can become a king, attributing that itself to the vastness of the one, to the unfathomability of the one's play. And what I really like in this composition is that there are so many like names and attributes. I guess here are just attributes that are invoked. So you have Aganat, incalculable, Apad, limitless, Alak, imperceivable, Niranjan, without blemish. And in that same line where these things are kind of listed, it ends with Jay Sab Jag Bhanmayo. So this one is all of these things and also has led the entire world into illusion. And there's like playfulness in that to me. So like instead of trying to pull meaning from things and putting that meaning into like boxes that are very concrete so we can say like this is the way that it is. The Guru's encouraging us to kind of sit in the wonder at the play to see the play as it appears before us and to be in awe. Um, and to then take that awe and expand it into awe of the one instead of frustration at like not understanding how things happen or why things happen. It's this kind of urging into bearing witness to the play of the one, and that witnessing, that simple just like witnessing, is enough to remove our doubts and our conflicts and our illusions from within us. So the focus becomes, can I visualize this wonderful play? Can I appreciate this wonderful play? What is in it? What are these contradictions? Um, can I see what all of these different, like, wise and dedicated and disciplined people are up to in their attempts to understand? And can I sit in my wonder at the way that this play is beyond my understanding? And that, I don't know, that sort of recenters us in a kind of enjoyment, I think. Um, and also an emotional understanding of the one rather than like a methodological understanding, if I can say that. So that's this composition. I hope you spend time with it as always. We have footnotes, we have word meanings and definitions, etymology, translations, transcreations for you to explore. And maybe you can start to think about like what it would look like for you to be in that awe, in that wonder, in your witnessing. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.